Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today I'm bringing you guys my first place locals Sprite Evil Twin deck profile. This is a sort of like a newer version of my old Evil Twin deck, just sort of with the Sprite engine in, along with like the frogs and all that stuff. This is a really cool deck, being able to just sort of play like mid combo to mostly control style, being able to get out like monster negates from the main deck, or negates with monster cards from the main deck, which is really cool in case you end up getting barriered and stuff, and then like obviously going into totally awesome with the frog engine and whatnot. This deck is just really cool. I love how it plays, super consistent and whatnot. I played this at locals. This deck did change a little bit after I got locals the victory with it, but I figured the changes were for the best. So this is still basically the bones of the deck, just with a couple alterations. This does look like a big fat deck, but it is double sleeved, so it's actually a 42 card deck. I added in a couple extra things just to increase the consistency of the Evil Twins and whatnot, because I kept seeing a lot of deck profiles and stuff on the Evil Twins added in with this, but like they were playing like the absolute minor amount that you needed to play, and I didn't end up seeing it enough, I thought. So in order to call this an Evil Twin deck profile, I really thought that I did need to increase the amount that I put in here, and you guys will sort of see that as we go along. But before we get into the deck profile, just make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel if you guys are new here, or if you just haven't already. And just a quick shout out to today's sponsor. It is Mammoth Headwear. If you guys are not aware of them, they make hats for people with really big heads. And if you guys didn't know, I have a very big head, fitting in all of the combo lines and stuff for all of these big decks and stuff. So I really love the logo on them. Reminds me a lot of like Mammoth Graveyard and Great Mammoth of Goldfine. A lot of people have been liking them. I've seen a lot of orders coming through through my affiliate link. So if you guys want to support the channel, and you guys Patreon and stuff hasn't been for you guys, definitely go ahead and check out the Patreon or the affiliate links for Mammoth Headwear down in the description below. I would really appreciate it. Like I said, a lot of people have been going through the affiliate link and supporting the channel, and it has just been really amazing. So I really appreciate it. And anyways, let's get on in with the deck profile. So we are playing our 3 copies of Sprite Blue here. Sprite Blue, and like the whole Sprite engine is so simple, so easy to learn. Basically, they all special summon themselves to the field. If you have another level 2, or for some of them, it is a level or rank 2, and then for the others, it is a link 2 that you need to summon onto the field with. But as long as you have a level 2 on the field, which is going to be most of the time, these guys can always special summon themselves from the hand onto the field, which is crazy. And then when these cards are special summoned, they gain effects. So with the blue, you're able to search for a monster. Again, super simple, super easy. Generally, you're going to end up searching for Jet, because then Jet can search you for a spell card, and then you have a main deck spell card, which allows you to be able to search for any of the, or to special summon any of the other sprites from the deck, which is really crazy. Then we have our 2 copies of Red. This is your monster negate for the deck. And then we have our 1 copy of Carrot, which can negate spells and traps. And it is so easy and so consistent to get onto a board with all 4 of these. And you can end your board using the other guys as like XCs or link material, and then you can end with a red and a carrot on your board for really simple, easy monster and spell negates. In case you end up getting debarriered and stuff, these guys are still a really nice way to like use your main deck resources to be able to stop your opponent from doing plays. Then we're going to get on into the frog engine. We're playing, of course, the 3 copies of Swap Frog, the 1 copy of Ronin Totem, and the 1 copy of Dupe Frog, just to be able to make sure that we can get the most out of this engine. Basically just allows you to get into totally awesome once. And then you can sometimes end up having like extra fodder for an extra XC summon later on in the duel. Then we're going to get on into our 2 copies of Live Twin Leela, as well as the 2 copies of Live Twin Kiss a Kill. So that you want to play these cards in this kind of ratio, in my opinion. You could play more if you really wanted to. Again, I was upset with how little I was actually seeing the engine, so I actually increased a couple things. So I am playing the 1 copy of the Kiss a Kill Frost and the 1 copy of Leela Treat. Now, before you leave the video, because I know that a lot of people are already going to be skeptical, because not a lot of people are playing the Leela Treat. However, I do think that it is really impactful. The things that you definitely want to do in your combo lines is to try to get the Leela into the graveyard and leave the Kiss a Kill, whichever one you have, on the field. So it's just really important to be able to get into these. And if you end up getting Ash Blossomed and stuff on the Kiss a Kill, like let's say that you open up Kiss a Kill and the Searcher card, we have the We have the Live Twin Sunny Snitch. So if you end up opening like with Kiss a Kill and Snitch, you can always still just Kiss a Kill, normal summon, it gets ashed. You can then use Live Twin Sunny Snitch to go into whatever extender you need. So that's just why it's really, really good. I like playing these kind of minimalist ratios where you're playing like the 2 copies of the starters, which is really important, but then still playing 1 copy each of the extenders. The Kiss a Kill Frost is definitely going to give you the most bang for your buck because she can help you draw cards from the deck, but still I think it's really important to play the 1 treat. We then have the 1 brick of the deck. There's kind of like 2 bricks in here, maybe 3 even, but I still think that it's really nice to play this in case you do end up going into the Link 4, just because it is so nice to be able to send this from the main deck to be able to send this from the main deck to be able to send one of your opponent's monsters to the graveyard. Really good and really impactful. We then, getting on into the hand traps, we have 2 copies of Ash Blossom, 1 copy of DD Crow. I am playing Crossout Designator, so that's why the ratios are a little bit weird, but I really do just sort of like playing like the low number of ratios. You guys, through a lot of my deck profiles, probably know that I do just sort of like playing like 2 Ash and stuff because they are hard ones per turns, and I don't want to end up drawing into more of them. I would just rather draw into my combo pieces, which can then get me into bigger plays. So just 2 Ash Blossom, 1 DD Crow, 1 copy of Ghost Spell, and 1 copy of Ghost Ogre. These are just sort of like the cards that are going to hurt you the most. So these are the cards that you want to hit with Crossout Designator. The other big card that people are playing in this format is Gamma now, because Gamma just really hurts this deck if they can use it against the XZ monster, the gigantic Sprite. We are also playing the 1 copy of Artifact Scythe. We are able to actually Scythe lock our opponent, but it is mainly in here so we can actually just use it as a Crossout Designator target. In case we are lucky enough to have Crossout Designator and our opponent is playing a Scythe lock deck, we can then go ahead and just call Scythe and be able to negate that. Then we have our 3 copies of Starter getting now into the spell cards. Starter is so good for the deck because, like I said, like the simplest combo line is if you open up Sprite Blue, you go blue into Jet, Jet gets you into Starter, and Starter will get you into red. So if you drew Carrot for turn, you then have all 4 Sprite monsters already on your board, which is just crazy. Then we have our 1 copy of Sprite Smashers. This is kind of like your other brick of the deck. This is just in here in case you already open up with a starter and you're trying to get something off of your Jet search. You just have Sprite Smashers to search for. It is a out to Mystic Mine and stuff, but you also have a lot of other really nice outs to big spell and trap cards with your Evil Twin lineup. So if your opponent is playing like Mystic Mine, they activate Mystic Mine. You can always chain the Kiss a Kill Link effect to resurrect the Leela effect, and then Leela would be able to then pop the Mystic Mine. Or no, actually it would not, because those would go into 2 different chain links, I believe. So actually the way that you just really want to run Smashers, because then you do actually have ways to out stuff like Mystic Mine and whatnot. But overall, it is really nice just having the Evil Twins in here for more removal. Then we are playing 2 copies of the Live Twin Sunny Snitch. Now, again, this is where people are only running like 1 copy in their main deck, which I think is fine. But I do want to see this card often, again, in case like my Kiss a Kill or my Leela ends up getting hit by Ash Blossom or Forbidden Droplet to negate it, or, Imperm, Effect Veiler, all those things from above. If they get hit by that, we want to have Sunny Snitch to be able to search for that extender, and that is, again, why I am playing 1 each copy of the extenders, just so we can be able to search that with Sunny Snitch if it comes to that. And also because, in a way, your Sprite starter ends up actually dealing you some life point damage, which does hurt you in time. And if you're able to get out Live Twin Sunny Snitch, then you're able to get some of those life points back and hurt your opponent. So sometimes it can come up where you use your Sprite starter, and then Live Twin Sunny Snitch could possibly save you in time. We then have our 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet. You need to play 3 copies of this if you are playing a Live Twin deck, because if you guys didn't know, if your opponent uses Infinite Impermanence or Effect Veiler, the monster needs to stay face up on the field to negate it. So if your opponent has a monster on the field and they use, like, let's say, Effect Veiler when you summon out the Leela, then you just chain Forbidden Droplet, send the Leela to the graveyard, then you're going to be able to summon out the Kiss a Kill monster, and then the Kiss a Kill is going to be able to summon another Leela from the deck because there was no other monster on the field when it was summoned, so that is just absolutely crazy. Too good to pass up. Then we're getting on into 2 copies of Crossout Designator. I didn't want to play 3 in the main deck. I am playing the 3rd in the side, but 2 just felt like fine. I had a lot of instances this last weekend at my locals where I ended up getting hand trapped. I got hand trapped in my first game 3 different times, 3 times in the same turn. It was like Gamma and Ash and probably Infinite Impermanence, I believe. And I never had Crossout Designator. And I was able to combo all the way through. My opponent was playing Punk and still just didn't have enough resources to be able to combo off on the crackback on their turn, and then I just ended up winning that. So it just really seems like with 2 Crossout Designator and 1 Call by the Grave, you're going to be fine being able to play through hand traps anyways. These are just here to be able to stop, like when you're really trying to get off like your gigantic Sprite and stuff like that. That's when it can be really, really helpful. Then we have our 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence to round off a 42 card main deck. Imperm is just too good in here with Droplet to be able to help break boards, because this deck does struggle a little bit going second. But definitely having like those live twins and stuff in here, along with the imperms and stuff, does help you to break boards on the crackback. Then for our XZs, we have our 2 copies of Gigantic Sprite. This card is so good. Being able to lock your opponent out of like Nibiru and Gamma Driver is really, really cool, just because both players get locked into level 2s. So if they're going to Nibiru you and stuff, they have to do it before Gigantic Sprite. And then if you have like some sort of an extender, you can sometimes come back. Also, the Gigantic Sprite is just a great way to get you into whatever engine you need, which again is another reason why you want to play those extenders, because let's say you have the Leela Treat extender in your hand and you get Gigantic Sprite out, you have your totally awesome engine and you have your Sprite engine totally going, then you're able to special the Kiss a Kill from the deck with Gigantic Sprite, and then just special out the Leela Treat from your hand because you do have a Kiss a Kill monster on the field. So again, that is just another reason why those extenders are so nice in here. Then we're going on into the 1 copy of Sky Cavalry Centura, 1 Downer Magician, 1 Zeus. Then getting on into the links, we have our 2 copies of Sprite Elf. This card is so crazy. I don't know which one's better, Elf or Gigantic Sprite, but this card is also super good because it lets you bring back a level 2 monster from the graveyard every single main phase, which means you can bring back your hand traps like Sprite Red and Carrot, which is cool. So if you use like Red for the link summon of this, but you're not really afraid of Nibiru anymore because you already locked out of the Gigantic Sprite. So now your opponent can't Nibiru you, you just link away, and then during your opponent's main phase, you bring back the red, and now you have that monster negate back and live, which is really crazy. Then we have our 2 copies of Leela, 2 copies of Kiss a Kill, and then our 1 copy of Evil Twins Trouble Sunny. You really just need to play 1 copy of Trouble Sunny. I wanted to play 2, but I took it out to put in something else. Also, like with the Evil Twin, Live Twin engine, it does work really well also with the Sprite Red and Carrot, because these cards need to tribute a level 2 monster on the field, or if you tribute a rank or link 2 monster with the negate, it ends up actually destroying the card. So a really cool thing that you can do is you're able to use red, tribute Leela, and then if Kiss a Kill is still on the field, you can use Kiss a Kill's effect to revive Leela, and then Leela will be able to pop another card on the field, which is really cool. Or if you just need to draw into a hand trap, you can do it the other way. Use Leela to revive Kiss a Kill. Kiss a Kill will draw you a card, and maybe you'll draw like a Ash Blossom or something like that. Then we have the 1 copy of Artifact Dagda, if we do want to go into the Scythe Lock, but I just don't go into it too often. And then we have the 1 copy of Underworld Goddess. Usually you are getting locked into like level 2 and link 2, rank 2 monsters, but that is really only if you're using the Gigantic Sprite and the Sprite Starter, the spell card. So if you end up using these cards, it is going to lock you in. However, I do really like having the option of Underworld Goddess because you can get out so many monsters. So if your opponent does have some sort of a towers in their deck, you can just like really simply go for like a swap frog play, swap Ronin Totem, get another like swap frog on the field, go blue into Jet, and then like all you need is like 1 more monster, and then bam, you're able to, or that's all the monsters that you need to be able to Underworld Goddess, and you can just steal one of your opponent's monsters, which is really cool. That is going to be it for the extra deck. I'm just going to show you guys a quick combo line if you guys want to just sort of see how this deck runs. So I will shuffle up the deck and we'll do a quick combo tutorial. Alright guys, so now we're going to go through a quick little combo. I'm just going to leave the side deck out of here because the side deck did change up quite a bit. from my previous, from this last weekend. However, I would say like playing 2 or 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More just for like, again, on the crackback is really good, as well as like Lightning Storms and other big board breakers. Nibiru doesn't feel great this format just because everything has an out to it, but still, you know, it is pretty good to run in the side. So we're going to see what our 5-card draw is here. Okay, so this is pretty okay looking, but this could actually be a good way to show how this deck runs, actually, because we do have enough to actually probably extend almost full combo, maybe totally full combo. And then, like, this is a good example of having Crossout Designator to make sure that you can go all the way through your combo lines, and then Infinite Impermanence just for an extra negate. So let's start off with normal summoning out our Live Twin Leela. Leela is going to special out our Kiss-A-Kill from the deck, and we are just going to get rid of the extender right away, just because getting the extender one, the Frost, is really nice to just get in the grave, because if our opponent ends up drawing from a card effect while we have this in our graveyard, then we are able to draw from a card effect, which is really cool. So we are going to get that out onto the field, and then while we have this on the field is when we need to special out our Leela Treat. So we're going to go there for the Leela Treat, and we are just going to have to leave one of these out onto the field. So we are going to go ahead and this is also another instance where we could special out the Spright Carrot from our hand, but I don't want to go into our 4th summon and be able like get hit by Nibiru. So what we are going to do is we are going to take these 2 here. We want to get our Leela into the graveyard and leave our Kiss-A-Kill one on the field. So we're going to take these guys to go into our we're going to go into our gigantic Spright here. So we are actually going to be, we're not going to be able to get into our Toad engine, but we're going to go very strong into the other 2 engines. So I think all the way through the other engines. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use gigantic Spright to detach, and then we special summon a monster from the deck. He does not detach as cost, so make sure that you guys remember that. So we'll detach right there to go for the Spright Blue special from deck. Blue's effect is then going to go off to get us our Jet, and then we will special our Jet to the field, and we are able to get our starter. Also, just keep in mind that with that gigantic Spright, we are now locked into Link 2s for the turn, so we're not able to go into our Link 4, but still really nice to be able to do that. And then also our opponent cannot Nibiru us anymore, so we might as well go for the Spright Carrot in case our opponent felt like using an Infinite Impermanence on us. So we probably should have used Spright Carrot before the Jet, so right away after getting the blue out onto the field. But anyways, let's keep moving along. So we then can go for the Link 2 here to be able to go in for our Sprite Elf. And then Sprite Elf would then be able to revive one of these guys next turn, which would be really cool. We can always bring back Sprite Blue and then get another search for our follow-up. We still have our Sprite starter, so we are going to use that starter right now to be able to special summon out the red from our deck. That way we have an extra monster negate on our next turn. So we will get 1 copy of red, special that out to the field as well. Then our next play is going to be to take, we will take our Spright Red and our Kiss-A-Kill Frost, or actually we have not revived yet from the graveyard yet, have we? So we will use our Sprite Elf to be able to revive that Sprite Blue from the grave, and then we can just bring it back next turn as well. So we are going to take the Kiss-A-Kill and link that away for our Evil Twin Kiss-A-Kill. Then along with that, we are going to take use the Kiss-A-Kill's effect to revive one of our Leelas. So we have the Leela Treat in the graveyard, so we will revive that. Take these guys to go to link for our Evil Twin Leela, and then we will use the Leela to revive the Kiss-A-Kill from the graveyard, and so we will special there, and then we will use the Kiss-A-Kill's effect to be able to draw 1 card from the top of the deck. I'll just give it a quick shuffle here since we've been in there. So we will draw 1 off the top of the deck, and we get an Ash Blossom. So right here we have Crossout Designator for negating basically anything we want, Ash Blossom, and then we have an Infinite Impermanence. Looks pretty good to me. So so what we have going on here, what we can basically do then on our opponent's turn, they go ahead and activate an effect. We can use Spright Red to be able to tribute any other Link 2 monster on the field. So we will tribute our Leela, and then since we tributed a Link 2 monster, we were able to destroy the card that we negate. Now we have that monster zone open again, so we would be able to bring back a monster with Carrot, so we could bring back Sprite Blue with our Carrot. Now we are able to use blue to be able to search for a monster again. So we'll search for another jet. That way we can get into another starter on our next turn. And then along with that, if our opponent then activates a spell, we can use our carrot to be able to tribute the blue again, get that off the field, and now we have our space open. And then if our opponent goes in for a play with something that is like a link to that, you know, maybe doesn't have like a effect on summon or something, like maybe, or, you know, even if they're going into like Halka-Fibrax to try to go for like a climb into like Selene and then into Access Code Talker, what you could then do is use Kiss a Kill in order to revive the Leela, and then Leela would be able to pop the Selene or the Halka-Fibrax before they can go in for that Access Code Talker line. And then let's, you know, I believe that might be it. So we have our monster and our trap negate, our monster and our spell and trap negate, and then we have our elf to be able to revive, which we use for our blue. And then once again, we do have that Ash Blossom and Infinite Impermanence, and technically that Crossout Designator in hand or set on the field. So anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for this deck profile and combo tutorial. I think I will do like an extra hand test video for this deck. Sorry if the glare was a little bit rough over here on like, this is the Sprite Red and the Carrot, but sorry about the glare there. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Again, hit that subscribe button if you guys haven't already, and also go ahead and check out the new sponsor of the channel, Mammoth Headwear. Really like them, really appreciate them supporting the channel with the affiliate link, and use code CommonCollector10 at checkout for 10% off and free shipping, which is really amazing as well. So really hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, let me know in the comments if you guys want to see a hand test video, and we will see you guys for the next profile. Peace.